get to you in a second, Kenny. Chris, when it landed, as Gerard said, you knew it was coming. But it is unprecedented. So everyone's going into this new, your high-performance team, your physios, they're there to work on it. But what group does it affect outside of the players? Who becomes the most important? Is it the coaches? Is it the high performance getting the players back up? And how do you coach for 4 days in review and previewing the next game?
We've had a 5-day break so far. We went from a game in Geelong to a game in Sydney against Brisbane, and we thought our preparation with that was pretty good and reasonable practice for what might be coming. So I think the key part in that is moving on from the review process pretty quickly, making sure that you're not still talking about the last game when you're building into the next one within a couple of days. And in terms of the most important people, I think it's the same as it always is. It's your players. So especially the influential ones, the ones that control the mood of the group and take the most responsibility for the team's performance. So their importance goes to another level. I think outside of the play group, it comes back to collaboration, making sure that enough people are involved in the decision making. So you can make sure that there's a bit of a safety net for the people that make the absolute final decision.
Kenny, you've got 4 games in 16 days. The first of those breaks is a 4-day break, and only 2 of the 4 are at Adelaide Oval. What did you think?
A bit similar to Chris. You're just ready for whatever happens. We knew, we were warned that there were still some more challenges to come in this season, and we've been able to embrace all those challenges thus far, and I think that's our attitude, and it's everyone's attitude in the AFL, I think, now, is that we'll do what we need to do and we'll be a part of what we need to be a part of to make sure that this season is played and successful for the AFL, and there'll be more challenges to come, and we just got to be ready for whatever they are.
Kenny, have you thought about selection rotation, or even, as Gerard suggested to you, about Chris's team, like let's play Patrick Dangerfield at full forward. Do you think, Kenny, there may be some major selection decisions to make to play and where to play your better players?
Yeah, I think there will be, Rob. I think there'll be some discussions going on in every club right now about, where your draw sits and what it looks like, and is there a rotation of players? Is there a one game that you look after 7 or 8 players in one game, and you try and break it up that way? I mean, there's a lot of challenges going on. I think we'll respect the competition as best we possibly can as coaches. We'll pick our best teams as often as we can, but there will be some constraints that are unusual and we'll have to manage. But our first conversations tonight would be, when do we do this and how often do we need players to play? We looked at our list straight away and we go, okay, we feel like we've got 35 plus players who are capable of helping us out over this next four-game block, and we're going to be, leaning and calling on most of those players, I'd imagine.
This is not headline chasing here. Are you saying, Kenny, there's going to come a couple of times or a time in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, where you are going to possibly rest 10 players and still try and put your best team out, but you might rest 10 players?
No, I think that's the decision that some clubs will have to consider, and we're one of those clubs. But as I said, we'd like to represent the competition the best way we possibly can, and in the fairest way we can do that. But there'll be some things. Look, some of the unknowns is how many injuries you're going to get in those short turnarounds. What's that going to mean to you, and how many players are carrying just soreness that they normally wouldn't be able to carry into a game. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be behind the doors of the club that people won't know and understand, but there'll be decisions we have to make for the outcome of the club first, and then the team second.
So, Chris, how crucial do you think the strategising in this period will be? Might just be on a lag, I reckon.
Sorry, Gerard, if that was me, I'm back.
Yes. How crucial do you think the strategising in that phase is going to be?
I think it is going to be critical, but it's really difficult to plan long term. So depending on where you are in your season, what your opposition's like, the health of your list, I think the critical part is going to be making good decisions in the short term. So trying to forecast exactly what you're going to do is something, in our view, we absolutely should try to do. But in reality, we're just going to have to stay on our toes and adjust as the season demands.
The return of Gary